We can accomplish anything. You can accomplish anything. The only reason we don't is because we just don't want to. I'm going to go on a little tyrant here because several things today. First, I read an article from Michael Moore, and he was just really upset about what we were seeing in the world. And then he had another article from some other guy that was attached to that, and that we're everything is just all falling apart and going crazy. And I thought, and is there anything that can be done? Is there anything that could happen? I thought, sure. I know. I was given that information. I'm 74 years old. I've been through everything in my life. I have gone through more things than any person can possibly imagine. A lot of disasters, a lot of failures, a lot of illnesses, a lot of everything, and then it started to change. And and I was looking at all of that, and I'm thinking, why do we think we can't change things? And why do we think we have to suffer? And why do we? And I thought, oh, it's because I'm not owning myself. I'm just not talking about it. And then I went to my website and I saw articles and I shared a couple because everything that's happening in the world and your life, probably, I've written about it and I've lived it. And I thought, so that's me. And then I was watching another show Sunday morning, a lot of really great things, um, and Jean Smart was on, and she's so wonderful. And I just saw, remembered her husband died a while back, and I thought, that's how long do we have before we start owning ourselves? And she's just so amazing, and I just love what she's doing. And now she's doing this one woman show. Then I was watching the Tonys, all these different things. I said, yeah, I know all of that. I used to perform, I used to dance, I did all of that stuff. So I do understand. But then the one thing that I realized is that I didn't value myself. And that's why we haven't changed. Because we can develop things and know things, and if we don't value who we are, it doesn't do any good. Because when I was watching that show, it was talking about Patreon. I've never monetized myself in any way, shape, or form. I just didn't do it. I just give everything away. I love people so much, and I thought maybe this is the way that I'm going to change things. But I said, I can't do that anymore. Even when I started understanding things from an entirely different place in 1989, when I started getting other guidance and knowing information and realizing I was highly intuitive and realizing I was a mystic and all of this stuff, still, I could not own that. And then I was watching today, I live in Los Angeles, and I was watching what was going on in the streets and with the immigration and people being the disturbances, let's call them, the chaos and all of that. I thought I knew that was coming as well. See, I've told all of this stuff. I've written it all. People don't pay attention to it, but I've written it. And you can read it. It's all the articles are there. I even just shared one. I said, "We are the second coming." I did that a few years ago because I knew what would be coming. And if we were to awaken, then we would change things. And I've written all of it. And then I studied, discovered something else, that there's an order in the universe. I started understanding who each person was, I understood that you had this genetic code. And if you could understand that and get there, you would have this really great life. And if more people did that, we would have a really wonderful world because you wouldn't be angry anymore. You would get rid of your generational hatred and biases. And then I talked about how I had to go back and realize what was within me. How did I heal? How would the world heal? I had to deal with systemic racism and misogyny because that was in me. I grew up that way. We all did because it's in consciousness. Because then you start understanding there's a collective consciousness. And then so no one really achieves what we want in our world if we don't deal with those things within ourselves. And mine was not owning my worth, and that Patreon thing just really got me. And I just didn't monetize it. And then what I've been also doing with the work that I've developed recently and what I've um, allowed people to really understand, I wasn't charging enough money for it. Everyone told me that. I didn't change. And then I started understanding the order of the universe. So nothing was surprising to me about what was going on because it's all energy and energy changes. And I was given this ability through Wilhelm that I was interpreting all of this stuff. And so it's tonight is June 8th. And I looked at tomorrow, June 9th. I know that I have something that would be in alignment with what's going on now. We just come to understand it later. Wilhelm gives it to me the year before, sometimes years before. Saw that the other day as well because I went back and found a channeling session that I don't think I was even there. It was done in 2021. And everything that was in there, I knew what was coming. And I could hear Wilhelm saying, this is where you're going to come and you have to understand what you need to do now. It's all in the video. And then I looked at tomorrow, and this one is the best because it pointed out what I've been doing in my life. And you will probably get this as well because we all operate the same way. And it was this. If I go back to I'm going to go back to the beginning of this because what happens is Wilhelm wanted us to understand that we evolve in consciousness over time. You know, we learn something, then the next year we know more, then the next year we know more. That's just how we grow as individuals and how we evolve as a society as well, as civilization because I've seen all the old stuff that we're repeating again. I've been there, I've seen it all, I've lived through it. So let's go back to 2012 because that's what they wanted me to remember first, because there's a progression. And in 2012, it was you never intended to attempt to be all things to all people, even yourself. In other words, when you decided to have a physical life journey, you knew that focusing on the internal knowledge of what you were destined to do would offer you the most excellent opportunity to accomplish your desired expansion. It would help if you merely examined past attempts in your life experience where you attempted to wander from that path with disappointing results and a lack of fulfillment. When you become aware of the area that provides you with the greatest satisfaction in your life, you also know that is where you desire to focus. Yeah, I was told that all the time because I knew that this work that I had, if I could have focused on that, but I was going to do everything else because I had to fit into the rest of society. That's what happened. But then let's progress to 2023. Nothing has ever gone wrong in your life or world. We know that statement might be challenging for many of you to accept, but that is the reason you are having a restructuring. And your world took another step yesterday, and the results will be seen by you, all of you, soon. How could they have known that? However, we want you to understand the message we provided in 2012 because that was the beginning of the guidance we wanted you to have so that you could live your best life. Choose to love who you are and offer your essence to the world. Our only desire was for you to understand your importance, but your planet needs you to realize that now so that the energies might be shifted and you all create the world you desire. And so then last year what they said, so this is supposed to be coming up tomorrow, I guess, you will experience more comfort today. We have always been with you, but you require linear time to hear us and your guides. The message we provided on this date last year will make sense today. You have always been loved. I can go through so many messages like that and I can read them and understand them now. I didn't know why I was receiving what they meant then. And that was something I wasn't owning. I wasn't really comfortable with that because I thought I don't want to be judged. I know this stuff and that this stuff had me do all this incredible stuff. Mind body healing, how did that happen from everything that was wrong? And it all came from this. And looking at that message from 2012, that's what I was supposed to focus on. And so if I had done that, probably I wouldn't have been so upset by Michael Moore's writing, thinking that there's nothing we can do. We can do anything. We can accomplish anything. We're just choosing not to. That's all. There's nothing that's happening that we couldn't change, except we have fear. And fear is what controls us. And then there's certain people that know if they inject a lot of fear over us, then they can have all the control. And we've been subjugated to that and still believe it. And I was allowing that to happen. We all were, because if we hadn't, things would look a lot different. So that's what I'm changing. I'm going to remember that I'm supposed to have more comfort today, and so are you. There's no reason that you can't change things. It's all consciousness. And we have facility, we have techniques, we have things that we can do. And I was given them all. I can say to people, there's no question that Wilhelm hasn't answered. We just may not remember it or might not do it, but the questions have been answered. I, after 36 years of writing them out, I know that they've been answered and seeing the results. But I had to talk about that because it was really bothering me when I'm seeing people afraid and suffering. And I just saw someone else saying, I have to leave social media for a while. I can't be around. Again, that's ingrained, embedded fear that we each carry, and it's in our consciousness, and we can change it. So I hope you do. See you soon.